we live? We are live?
Ooh.
We are live, Rusty.
What is up, dude?
I don't know. What is up?
Man, so many things.
So many things are up. This is the November 6th, 2018 edition of the Soundrop Livestream, and I am Pony.
And I'm Rusty. It's good to be here. We had a busy October, didn't we?
That's one way to put it. You had a busy October because you were on tour.
Yeah, I was gone for like half the month.
Yeah, that sucked for me. Really bad.
It was great for
Rusty,
me.
don't ever go on tour.
Well, it's going to happen again.
It was great for Rusty.
Yeah.
He got to go on tour. I got to sit at the office and pretend I knew how to answer the questions that would normally go to Rusty.
You're just reading emails and blood shooting out of your nose.
And eyes and ears.
Right.
The whole deal.
Yeah, well, it was October.
That was a Halloween gimmick. How was tour?
Tour was fantastic. Saw some really cool places, met some really interesting people. Yeah, and played Mexico for the first time.
Mexico. So what was the route? What was the tour route?
So we started in Portland, and then we did Chico to Ventura to San Bernardino. We played a house show, which was rad, and then we got to sleep at the house. Yeah, so we didn't even tear down equipment.
Oh my God, you just slept in front of your amp.
Basically, yeah. I just left it on, just feedback. That didn't happen.
That seems like something you would sleep to, though.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's my favorite Sun O record. So yeah, we did that, and then we went to San Diego and got a hotel room for 3 nights. Played Tijuana, played San Diego, and then had a day off. Walked around, drank beer, watched hockey. Went to Scottsdale, then Vegas, and Salt Lake, then Boise.
How was Vegas?
Vegas went off. Vegas always is
really?
A great time. Yeah, for our style of music, actually, it's like that's the money maker. So if we get the gas money to get to Vegas, we know that once we hit Vegas, like we're home free for the rest of the time. Yeah, basically, it's like that. It's us playing penny slots at 4 in.the morning, drinking 7 and 7s.
Oh, that's badass, yeah. Dude. So wait, so how do you describe the genre of your band?
Cascadian post metal.
Cascadian post metal.
That's a true story. So it's elements of post rock and Cascadian black metal, as popularized by bands like Wolves in the Throne Room.
Cascadian black metal. All right. But Cascadian post metal. All right. That's cool. Yeah, well, while you were on tour, I was here working. But I got to go do some studio work. Laid out some bass lines.
No kidding.
Yeah. For Ben Barnett of Kind of Like Spitting. That band from the 90s.
I'm not familiar. What genre would that be?
It was kind of like emo alternative kind of
sad indie.
Sad indie, yeah. But before that was like a big thing.
Okay.
And they did pretty well. I mean, world tours and opening for like Death Cab for Cutie kind of bands, you know.
Sure.
But now he's got a sweet studio in his basement, and the board that he has in his basement is this giant API thing, which he ordered from API, and I don't know if this is true, but it seems like it was.
I'm going to believe whatever you tell me.
Okay. He said that the last band that used that board was U2.
Huh.
Like, you don't believe it?
No.
No, he said
never happened.
And but if you look at this board, I mean, it cost $100,000.
Good Lord.
And apparently U2, remember there was that record U2 made that was like, if you had an iPhone, you automatically got the new U2.
The one that made literally every iPhone user hate U2 more than already they did?
Yeah.
Yes, I recall that one.
And I don't think that that's known as maybe one of U2's best albums, but
no.
Apparently they recorded it on this board and then sold it back to API, and then it sat in storage, and then this guy bought it, and I got to record on it, and I have to say it was the best bass tone I have ever gotten in the studio.
That's awesome. Yeah. When's it coming out?
Oh God, I don't know. The name of the artist was Ant Savino.
Okay.
A-N-T Savino. And which is Savino. Yeah, you can find his first album. I played on that one too.
Cool.
And yeah, so that was cool. So I did get to do some music stuff.
Yeah,
that was nice.
Well, I'm proud of you, son.
Yeah, thanks. You call me son?
Yeah,
that's new.
I know.
Weird. What else we got? Hey, does anybody have a Deltarune cover?
I don't yet.
Anybody have a Deltarune?
But I'm very excited to see all of the Deltarune covers that are slowly trickling in. I think we're at 15 to 20 Insider system already,
Oh,
and the game's been out for a week.
I think there are more than that. I think
Nice.
it's dozens.
I love it.
There are at least a couple dozen.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Please do. I started playing the game and it's phenomenal, and I love that each new place that you go to, it actually shows you the track name.
Oh,
When you start each section, the game's awesome.
It's like they know their audience.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
A couple other things. Some people noticed that Louder is no longer accepting direct licensing requests, and that made some people feel weird. And I got some questions like, "Wait a minute, what does this mean for you guys?" And
what does it mean for us?
it doesn't mean anything for us.
Oh well.
Louder's still got the API that they're supporting. I think they're only managing enterprise clients now. So they're owned by Spotify, and I just don't think like doing those. They're looking towards the future, so they're kind of sunsetting certain parts of their business. But what they do for us and other companies like us, talk to those guys. There's no plans anytime soon to change anything.
Perfect.
And if they did, we'd be on top of it. So we know what we're doing here.
Absolutely.
There is a new link in the dashboard.
I'm really excited about this.
Backing tracks. Have we seen any releases yet that we know are using these Okay, so some cover song artists don't have a band, they don't play instruments, they're just vocalists, and they want to cover songs. So you'll notice if you log into Soundrop now, in the dashboard there's like a custom backing tracks or something like that link. So you go to that just takes you over to our buddy Pelike's site, where you can order either for a flat fee or for a share of the revenue. You can order a custom backing track, and he has a studio and a producer, and they can just crank those things out whatever style you want. So it can be like acoustic or full power metal, like all his stuff's power metal. But so that's just another option, make things easier for people who want to get into the cover song space and have a voice but not a band.
Yeah.
So that's a new interesting thing. You should check that out. I don't know. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
Well, I mean, there's lots.
Started with the
I think the preliminary is done. Let's get into.
We're in the banter section.
Have we
right
successfully
now.
bantered enough? I think so.
Yeah. That was 10 minutes of banter. Time to move on.
Nice.
All right. Quick, before we move on too far, I'm going to give you a rundown on what we're going to be covering today. We're going to talk about holiday submission deadlines. So dates you want to know if you've got upcoming releases and you want them to come out by a certain time. During the holidays, with the licensing, with the stores, they all kind of have these blackout dates. So you got to be able to.
It is the busiest time of the year.
Busiest time of the year. So you got to navigate around that. Rusty's got some cool stuff from Spotify for artists that he wants to show off.
Yeah.
That I haven't seen yet.
I know. I can't wait to share
it with you. I'm not managing my artist account as much as I should. We'll have some teachable moments with Rebecca. We'll answer some questions from artists, find out what's on Rusty's mind. I might talk about wrestling for a minute.
You're gonna have to.
For a minute and a few seconds. But first, should we run through these show.co campaigns?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, the YouTube one. All right. So basically, in one of the coolest things that you get just for free for being a Soundrop artist are show.co marketing tools. And one of these, there's like a whole selection of it, and it's really flexible. But one of the one we're going to talk about today is it's a YouTube campaign to promote a video or a private video where you can collect the user's email address or have them follow you on Spotify, and in exchange that unlocks a private video or a hidden video, or you can just like run a contest or whatever you want to do with those email addresses. So we're gonna just jump right into a screen share with Rusty here. And are we already doing that?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
We are set. So so this YouTube campaign that I have set up is actually to get more subscribers. And
okay.
So yeah, there are a variety of different ways that you can, or different types of campaigns that you can do. So you can do like a link to a specific video, or you can do follow on Twitter, follow on Spotify, or subscribe on YouTube. So
and doing that action unlocks the video?
Yeah, exactly. It unlocks whatever you want it to unlock. So it can be a video, it can be entering you into a contest,
right.
You know, a SoundCloud link for an unreleased track, you know, or maybe your favorite cooking recipe. It could be literally anything that you can think of.
Yeah, with the goal being you're trying to collect people's email addresses or get them to
subscribe to something.
Yes, and in exchange they get a reward, and there's this like really easy little tool here that we've got.
Exactly. So I'm going to walk you through it really quick. So you would just start
You're going to do the social unlock or the YouTube one?
The social unlock, and then the type is YouTube.
Okay.
So there are a variety of different types of social unlocks. The social unlock just means the user does something and then something is unlocked for them afterwards.
Gotcha.
So that's all that is. So I have my band's YouTube channel, and the action that I want people to take is I want them to follow us. So I've set that up, and then what actually unlocks is a redirect to a URL. And so
oh wait, are we showing the screen here?
Oh, we are.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah. So my confirmation message. So after somebody subscribes, they get a little note that says, "Thanks for the follow. Keep your eyes out for weekly content, and enjoy our favorite video to watch in the van." So when we were on tour, it was a lot of YouTube videos to pass the time and lots of really terrible 90s music. So
hey, I've made a lot of terrible 90s music.
I know, and I can
identify with
that. I can't wait to never listen to it. So
I was making it in the mid 2000s. Let's be real here.
Well, yeah. That's fine. I'm playing music from 2008 and 2018.
That's pretty recent.
It's pretty good. And then this is what's displayed actually on the actual page itself. So it says, subscribe to our official YouTube channel to keep up to date with tour announcements, rig rundowns, cooking videos, and bad puns, of which we have many.
All right, so that's step 2. So wait, step 1 was
pick the type of campaign that you want to do, and then what is unlocked when people perform the action.
So that's the URL for the video and what you wanted to stay on the page and all that stuff. So
exactly, and then this is the initial page, what it would look like before they actually perform the action.
Right. So a little counterintuitive.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little backwards.
But the cool thing that I really like about show.co is that you can very easily just publish the campaign before anybody's really seen it, see how it actually works in the real world, and then go back and edit it really quick. So you can just experiment. It's not like setting up an album and you send it in and then it's locked. It's more like you can just change it on the fly.
Exactly. Yeah,
it's really cool.
Very dynamic in that regard. And then you pick like a background image. It's pretty straightforward, and then text color. And then if you have like Google Analytics, or you want this campaign to operate in specific countries, maybe you have different campaigns in different countries, you can set territory restrictions. And then, yeah.
Oh yeah, like nobody from my hometown can see this.
Yeah, please. Nobody from my high school. And so this is what the actual campaign would look like. So follow us on YouTube. That's our bass player.
Nice. He looks like Daniel Bryan.
He's having a wonderful evening. And yeah, and so if you were to click through this, it gets you in with whichever Google account, and then you say that you're over 13 years in age, and it says, thanks for the follow, keep your eyes out for weekly content, and presumably this would actually connect to a video.
Oh, is the video down?
Well, it was just the preview was down. So if we were to actually do this.
Oh yeah, let's do it for real.
Let's do it one more time.
It would be classic if it just didn't work when we're doing this.
Well. So it says you'll be redirected in 3 seconds. And now it goes to
Steve Harvey video.
Where he doesn't want to host Family Feud anymore.
Oh man, these are good. Now we're gonna whatever 5 people are watching this, or 8, I guess, are gonna all go now to just YouTube and start watching these hilarious Steve Harvey.
I think we watch this at least once a day for 10 days.
Oh man.
So yeah, now everybody in the band is up to date on all the subtleties of the Steve Harvey doesn't want to host Family Feud anymore video.
Oh, this is so good.
So yeah, so that's the basics of a show.co YouTube campaign.
So now you've flipped back to the admin side of this, and you should go. Can you go back and forth and show the language that you add in the step that, you know what I mean?
Oh, how it looks.
How it appears on there, yeah.
Sure.
Because
All right.
I found that one of the more like kind of confusing things about setting this up is
Yeah, absolutely. So, and remember, yeah, like steps 1 and 2 are kind of in reverse.
right.
So step
That part
2 is,
throws me
yeah,
off.
the messaging. So the headline, and that's what you would see in the actual tab of your internet browser, is follow us on YouTube. And then,
Okay, yeah.
and then this text right here is what's included in messaging. So subscribe to our official YouTube channel.
Okay.
And then once you click through all of that, the redirect to the actual video is this. Thanks for the follow. Keep your eyes out for weekly content. Now, similarly, you could also just have a message. You don't actually have to go anywhere else. You could say, thanks for subscribing. You've been entered into a contest. Or thanks for subscribing. You get nothing.
You get
That would
good
not be a
day,
very
sir.
it would not be a very good campaign.
Yeah, I think that would be kind of funny if you clicked and it just said you drank fizzy lifting liquid.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the beginning of Deltarune. You fill out all the stats and everything, and then it just deletes them.
I'm not allowed to touch that. All right.
But yeah, so
that is really cool. So yeah, you can use this tool for just it's like whatever you want to promote and you want to build your email list, you want to build your followers on all these different platforms. And I don't know if you showed it there, but you can also add these little widgets that kind of pop up in the bottom where it's just like follow, subscribe, like on Facebook, and they just pop up. And I highly recommend it's just all you have to do is just like have a Soundrop account.
How many campaigns do you get?
You can get you can run 2 campaigns at once.
Nice.
And then if you actually buy a paid version of Show.co, then you can run like maybe unlimited. I don't know.
Who knows?
It's just like even the 2 that you get for free just with Soundrop are just just badass.
I mean, if the platform's good enough for Sigaros, it's good enough for everybody.
Sigaros uses it?
Spoilers.
Wait, so also doesn't Blizzard use it?
Yeah, Blizzard does as well.
What do they use it for? Where's their campaign?
Oh, I have no idea. I haven't seen it. I know that they are also users.
Yeah. And managers of like big bands. It's a big promotional tool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
A lot of people use it. So what I just encourage everybody to do is just get in there, click the free marketing tools, and just start playing with it and experimenting with it. And you never really have to show it to anybody. You can just play with it and see what you want to do with it. It's pretty cool. It's really flexible.
Yeah.
So that's Show.co marketing tools, people. Cool stuff.
Right on. So you want to see?
I always have to like do this thing like that would be used at the end of the video. Like when we clip this down into a video, like so Show.co. Wait, what is it? Oh, Show.co marketing tools, people. Check it out. And then that's how the video would end. It's very nice. All right.
It's good.
Let's move on, Rusty, because I know you wanted to show people some stuff that you were enjoying about Spotify for Artists.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Spotify for Artists.
Let's explain it first.
First off,
then we'll go to the
if you guys don't have your artist profiles on Spotify claimed yet, you really should. It's super easy to do. It's artists.spotify.com. You give them some social media links and say, whether you're the producer or you're a musician in a band or, you are your own band, whatever, what your role is. And then they do a little bit of investigating and then they determine, oh, you are who you say you are. And then they give you access to a bunch of stats and analytics. They tell you which playlists you're played on. Yes. They break down demographics.
They do all kinds of stuff.
All kinds of things.
But I just want to pause a moment and reiterate what incredibly good info Rusty just gave us. Everybody needs to claim their Spotify.
Yeah, it's super easy to do, and yeah, it shows you where your markets are. I mean, it's awesome. Yeah, and also if your content is added to playlists, you'll be able to see which playlists they are, whether they're curated by Spotify, whether you're on people's Discover Weekly or Release Radars, and then if you're on actual user-generated playlists as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's take a look.
I did see Steven. Hi. I did notice that he asked a question.
Ooh.
Oh no, he was asking about YouTube and artist separations. I thought he was asking if you could do artist separations through Spotify.
Oh, we absolutely can. And actually claiming your Spotify profile, if there are other people with the same name as you and they're on your claimed page, you can actually request those people to be booted off, which is awesome.
Right there in the interface, huh?
Not in the interface. No, you simply just send us an email. Yeah, exactly. It's always through the distributor, but it is a very, very
who is
painless.
always us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we do it because we care.
Not for the money.
Well, and also
we have like lava lights and stuff. Does it look like we do anything for the money?
Do we do anything? We do so much.
You do so much.
Well,
speak for yourself, Rusty.
Boy. All right. So getting back to Spotify for Artists. This is what the interface looks like. So you can see actually like our streams are down, our listeners are down, but we have one extra follower this month.
Booyah!
We were on a pretty big playlist for our style of music last month, for the month of September to October.
Wait a minute. There's a Cascadian post-metal playlist?
It is called Post Metal's Best Tracks.
Oh,
nice.
Nice.
Yeah, and so it's 2,700 followers. We were lucky enough to get added to the previous month's playlist, and they update it monthly. So we did see a sharp decline in the number of listeners, but we were able to actually finally crack 1,000 listens on a single song. So instead of showing less than 1,000, now it's like 1,002.
Nice.
It's beautiful, guys. We're on our way up.
Damn, dude. Well, no, that's awesome.
So you can look at your audience. So we have 25 listeners. You can look at the number of streams and how your number of followers has increased. You can do this 7 days, 28 days, or since you started with your music. You can also download all of this as a CSV file. If you scroll down, you can see where people are listening, whether it's in your actual profile or in their library, like if they saved your content. Wow. Other listeners' playlists, their own playlists, and then personalized playlists, editorial playlists. You can see gender, you can see age.
Gender. It's amazing that we're still collecting gender.
Yeah.
We sent out that survey last month that one of the questions was about your gender. I was like, what are we going to do with that information?
I don't know. We'll lock it up somewhere and never look at it.
Oh, it's all men. We're going to have an NFL-themed campaign.
Sure.
Go Rams. Use Soundrop.
Yeah, go sports guy.
Yeah, go sports ball.
But yeah, so I mean, it does collect that, and it will do non-specified and non-binary as well. So at least there's that. And then it will show other artists that your listeners listen to, and this is actually what displays under fans also like. So if you're in Spotify and you're looking, it's this exact same list, which is kind of cool.
Fans also.
And then you can see where people are listening. So if you are getting wildly popular in a specific country or in a specific city, maybe you want to target.
Tijuana, baby.
Yeah, buddy. So yeah, you can target ads, based upon this kind of information, and make sure that you're getting the most out of whatever promotional stuff you're doing. Now, also, there is the ability to playlist pitch too, which is pretty great.
Oh yeah.
So under catalog, you can see all of the content that you've released. You can do songs, or you can do releases, or you can do playlists. And then under upcoming, we are in the process of uploading a cover of a crust punk band called His Hero Is Gone. That has not been ingested into Spotify yet, but once it does, it will show up here as an upcoming release, provided you give a future release date of at least 7 days in advance. And then you can also set things up to be pitched for playlists. There's a form you fill out. It talks about, what your marketing budget is for it, and it asks you just general questions.
Didn't we walk through that in the last? We did a stream where we talked about Spotify playlists.
Perfect. Yeah. So this is where all of that goes down, and the first step is just claiming the artist profile in the first place.
Awesome. Did I miss? There's real-time stats, right?
Real-time stats.
Where was?
Right here. No respect. We get no respect.
Nobody is listening to your band at this very moment, Rusty.
Yeah, well, you know what?
You guys need to put out 50 more crust punk covers.
Look out, dude. Now there's one listener. I don't think it updates in real time that quickly.
Are you engaging in streaming abuse right here on live on television?
Don't tell anybody.
On Twitch.tv.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's the basic gist of Spotify for Artists. There are also concerts if you can link up to, I believe it's Songkick that they use. Yeah, so Ticketmaster, Eventbrite, Songkick, and AXS listings. And so if you have profiles in those, they will actually link up to.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then people would actually see that in your profile. It would show like upcoming concerts. That's the idea.
That's awesome. So everybody, go ahead, claim your Spotify for Artists account. There's just no reason not to.
Yeah, and you also get to control the banner art, your profile photo, your bio, and you can do like a featured track release or playlist as well.
Do it.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And that's Spotify for Artists. Don't forget to claim your account.
You did it.
I know, that was good.
Yeah.
That'll help Veronica later.
Love it.
All right. Well, you know, Rusty, with the holidays coming up,
there's a lot of important things to talk about.
There's a lot of important things to talk about, and I think we need somebody on here who's an actual expert. I'm just kidding. You're an actual expert. But what the hell? Let's get Rebecca in here to talk about holiday deadlines, blackout dates.
Yeah, let's do it.
Didn't I see a question in here? What if you do concerts via Twitch? Oh, wait. Oh, there's a whole conversation happening here in the chat.
Ooh. Well, we will explore it.
In order to promote... Wait.
We're just talking about how to use the playlist tool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Steven was asking about what if doing concerts on Twitch or just like live streaming concerts, but I don't know about what the context is for the question.
I think it maybe
was in the context of the release dates.
Steven can probably correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was in regard to like the live listeners and Spotify for Artists.
Oh, yeah. It's only showing your Spotify listeners.
Yeah. Sorry if I got that wrong, Steven.
That's okay. He can ask a question. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi.
Hi, Sweater Vest. Did you get a drink?
I did. It's over there.
Okay. All right. So now this time of year is the busiest time of the year. We've got a lot of people submitting content, and we have a lot of like very timely content, you know, like songs that are Christmas songs, holiday songs, maybe even Hanukkah songs.
Yes.
Does anybody ever release Hanukkah songs? They should.
They certainly do.
They really better get them in quick. But you need to give us more lead time than usual because licensing gets slower, volume gets higher, and some of the services even have blackout dates where if they say, if you don't get the song to us by this date, it won't go live until much farther back, right?
Right.
So why don't you run through some of these dates here, Rebecca, and I'll just disappear behind this cool graphic that just appeared.
Cool. Yeah, these are the dates. So this breaks it down by when do you want your content live, when you should submit originals or public domain by, and when you should submit covers by. Oh no, we disappeared.
Yeah, but the graphic is still there.
The graphic's still there.
That's the important thing in this
Everyone
case.
has a chance to read it. Are we back? We're back.
And it's like I knew. It's always at 2:30 when that happens.
Yep.
Oh, here we are. Oh, yes.
Cool.
We're back.
Yeah, so the important thing is we were talking about release dates earlier, just planning way ahead for promotion as well as making sure that your content is live. And then many partners and licensing partners are on break from mid-December through early January. So if you have post-holiday covers that are going to come out in the first few days of the holiday, or first few days of the year, you're going to want to plan majorly ahead and submit by early December.
Majorly ahead. Okay, so yes, so at the bottom here, no licensing is going to happen between the 18th and the 4th.
Right.
So we'll get back from MagFest and things will be.
We will be going to MagFest. We'll be one day
Oh,
into
really?
MagFest. Yes.
Oh, God, okay. Answering, like, tickets on our emails on our phones
We can do
during
that.
concerts. Yeah, so, all right, so if you want, so just to explain this chart real quick, the left column is the release date. If you want the release to come out on that date, and it's a original or public domain title, it has to be submitted by that date. So if you want it to release on the 16th, then you have to have it submitted by the 7th. And if it's a cover, you want to have that submitted by a week, 2 weeks ago.
Right. And that's just to be safe. That doesn't mean that your content absolutely will not go live on that date. It's just a suggestion. As we get a higher volume, as we get more licensing requests, the further ahead you can plan, the better.
Is there somewhere in our help center where people can get this information?
There is. There's a page with this information. There's a page on the licensing requests, and there's a page for which holiday songs are in the public domain and which are actually cover songs. So if you have a question about that, visit that page. It's super helpful. I use it all the time when I'm looking at releases.
Nice. Oh, yeah, and the page, throw that link in there for which songs are public domain, because those don't require licensing. So if you're in a pinch, you just need to get something out there. Cool.
Yeah,
so yeah,
they're
make
pretty
sure.
straightforward. Just planning ahead.
Yeah, so plan ahead. Make sure to check our help center for the information, and lead time is your friend and ours.
Yes, and we'll continue to tweet and remind people about it through the holiday season.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what I should do. I should send out a tweet that's like, hey, if you want your release date to be this, you have to get it in this week. Kind of thing.
That'd be awesome.
I will.
I can do that.
Thank you.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Rebecca. That's why we have people who can do stuff around here. Cool. All right. So, Rebecca, I think that there was another subject that was close to your heart.
Yes.
One that you really wanted to talk about. It's about info mismatches.
Yeah.
So, here's what we're talking about. The way that we can distribute music to all these different services is, we're going, right? Okay, the way we can distribute music to all these different services is that we have agreements with them that say the content that we put on your service will meet these standards. That's our side of the agreement. That's the place that we hold in the music industry is metadata and content compliance. We check it, we inspect it, if you will, or approve it, and then we send it out over to the service. So one of the most important of these standards is requirements for the information and the art, the cover art, the information that appears on the cover art, and the quality and type of cover art, and the actual subject matter. So what Rebecca's going to talk about today are what those requirements are, some stuff that you might not realize is a requirement, and some stuff that you might think is a requirement but actually isn't.
Right.
Yeah. So all right. Let's start with the fundamental principle behind why this standard even exists. Why does it matter what's on the cover art at all?
So the standard exists. So customers on the store know what they're buying. So if the information on the art doesn't match the information about the song, then customers are going to return the music. They're going to be really bummed out. It's no fun for anyone. And when customers do return music, your earnings will be debited for that amount. So we're really protecting both you and the person buying your music from.
It's the blue peanut butter pretzel. I can't even talk.
The blue peanut butter pretzel.
No, let me try this again. The blue peanut butter principle.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Your content has to be what it says it is.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, those standards are in place for the users of those platforms, the actual listeners. So what information has to be on the cover?
There doesn't have to be any information on the cover. Your cover could be just an image with no text. The most important thing is that people buying your music will be able to distinguish this particular cover from the rest of your catalog, from another artist's catalog. They'll know, yep, this is the release that I want to buy.
So you can have a picture that has no text on it whatsoever,
right?
But that picture can't be one that's used on any other release. right? So, okay, so yeah, we do have artists sometimes that will submit the same or different releases multiple times, but they all have the same picture. And they think, oh no, this is my thing. It keeps it consistent.
Right.
But that's confusing from a listener's point of view. When they're looking, they see just the same image over and over. So you can use the same image over and over, but then you have to do something different. Something different, text, right?
Yep, something different with the text. You could change the color. It just needs to be somehow distinguishable from the rest of your catalog. So if someone goes to your artist page, they just glance at the art, they know exactly what it is.
Yeah, that's super important. It's super important. So say there is text, because most albums or most releases have text on it, at least like the artist name or the song or the album title. So what kind of information has to appear on the cover if you're putting text on it?
If you're putting text on the cover, it should match your artist name and the title of your release. It doesn't have to have both. It could have either or. It just needs to match almost exactly, or exact enough that the average person could guess at what you were trying to go for.
Okay, so I can use the same image every time, and I can put my artist name on there, but I can't put my artist name. I can't just have every release have the same picture and my artist name.
Right, you just
Can I move the artist name around on there?
You could.
Does that count?
Yep, that counts. You could do that. I would not recommend it. I think,
That's confusing.
Yep. Personally, I would say if you could put the release title on your art, you're in good shape, and it should match exactly to what you have in the metadata. So, for example, if your track title is "This is a really cool song," and your art says "cool song," that's not matching. That's an info mismatch.
Oh, so if you put the track title on there, it's really got to be exact.
It's got to be exact.
Including title versions and featured artists and everything?
So there's a little more flexibility with that.
Okay.
So you can list your featured artists or not. That's not a big deal. But if you do list featured artists, it should match in the metadata. So if you have 2 featured artists on your art and 1 in the metadata, that's an info mismatch. Or if something could be construed as another artist. So I've seen this happen before with someone says featuring artist name, and then they have their record label underneath that name. But we can't tell, is that an artist or is that a record label? So that would be considered an info mismatch if it's confusing enough that our content approval team is questioning.
So at the end of the day, the approval person is looking at the release, they're looking at the metadata, they're looking at the cover, and they're saying, is this going to be confusing for a user, basically?
Exactly, yeah. Is this information what's actually contained in the audio file? So if I bought it, it would make sense.
Okay.
And we can talk about some of the particulars. I have my whiteboard.
Oh, well, if you've got the whiteboard gimmick, then I am all in favor of busting that thing out.
All right. It's a new whiteboard?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about this new whiteboard. I really like that old one.
I feel like I will murder less action figures with this.
I don't have room for action figures in this setup here. Oh, that fits perfect.
Doesn't it? See? Okay, so we've got red and blue. Red is incorrect. Blue is correct. So let's talk about particulars.
Nice. You really put some thought into this. I really appreciate it.
I did, yeah.
I really appreciate how hard everybody works on this live stream thing.
Okay, let's say my track title is song title. And my artist name is Rebecca. Let's see.
Uh-oh, I see a problem right away.
Or do you?
I thought so. Maybe I need to learn this stuff as much as everybody does.
It can get pretty complicated. Okay, so looking here, we've got song title, R. And then in my metadata, it's song title, Rebecca. That's totally fine. You can put an abbreviation of your name. What I couldn't do is put...
You can put an abbreviation.
You can put an abbreviation as long as it matches. So if I put my last initial on the art, but my artist name was just Rebecca, that wouldn't work.
Oh.
So
interesting.
People would be able to construe what the name was. Some other particulars: the song title versus song title. It depends on the situation, but this could be okay.
It could be okay.
It could be okay, yeah. So the can we have a little more flexibility there.
Okay. Specific to the word the.
Specific to the word the.
It's just such a common.
Right. In track titles.
Oh, it's yeah.
Scoot over? Okay. In track titles, if your artist name is the Rebeccas, and in the metadata I just have Rebecca's, that's a mismatch.
That's no good.
Just because we're looking at naming conventions, right? So there are lots of bands called the something.
Yeah.
That could be misconstrued.
Oh,
so
yeah, totally.
Beatles and the Beatles.
And I feel like we went through a whole 15-year period where all the bands names got used, and so people started looping around and just using the same band names but without the at the beginning. So now you have a band like Grails or something, and there's just like in Portland every other band is something like just like a plural noun without the on the front of it. It was like a whole thing for a while, right? Is that still a thing? Who's still in the band scene? Rusty, is that still a thing?
Well, yeah, I think you nailed it. So yeah, about a decade. What, there was the Shins, the Decemberists.
Right.
That was still in the band period.
The phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now there's Grails, Issues, End.
That's the ultimate like getting rid of the name.
Yeah.
Wow, we're really going down a rabbit hole, but this is good stuff. This is what we're here for, to get nerdy about metadata and music distribution.
Yes, totally.
Are we pulling back the curtain?
We're pulling back the curtain on music distribution.
So like, what are the most common reasons you mismatch?
So the most common reasons we mismatch, one of them is putting the album title, using the album art on your single. That's a big no-no unless it is the single name is the same as the album name, but then you're going to have to use different art for your album, right? So we need to get something's got to be different. So that's a big one. Another one is if you have just kind of text on your art, it's a bunch of different words, but you have a specific title, and we can't tell in that text what the artist name is, what the track title is, if everything is just as prominent, so it's just a bunch of words. Mm-hmm. That's an info mismatch, unfortunately. We understand that sometimes that's artistic, but if you want to do something with a bunch of text on it, just make sure that your artist name and the title of your release is large on the art.
Prominent. So it's really obvious.
It's really obvious.
That's the key, is the obviousness, right?
Exactly. Some of the other cases would be, so you have your single title on your art, and then you have a bunch of other text, like you have the record label, and you have your featured artist name, and maybe some other info about the release, but you don't have your artist name on there. That's also an info mismatch because we can't tell who the primary artist is. Well, you don't have to have your artist name if you're going to have more text than just the title. That's going to be a problem.
And like, there's all these weird things that, one of the complaints that we get a lot is I see an album on Spotify right now that is doing the exact same thing you just told me I couldn't do. So number one, if we told you you couldn't do something, the reason for that is because it's in our agreement with the partner. Right. It's not just because we like, spritzing cold water on people's hot art ideas or anything like that. And we have a name for that. It's called the yeah but Kanye fallacy. So Kanye has done broken every rule that we have to enforce on a daily basis. He had an album that's just like, didn't he have an album that's just like a picture of a CDR in a case? Yeah, you can't do that. He had like an album that was just like a ton of text and you couldn't tell what the hell was what.
That was Life of Pablo.
Life of Pablo?
Yeah.
So anytime somebody's, yeah, but Kanye, nope. Yeah, but nope.
Right. So there's always the exception that proves the rule, and sometimes larger artists can be that exception. We never want to do something to limit you. If we are asking you to make a change, it's always because we think that's what's going to be best for your release and what's going to keep it live. we don't want anyone to be disappointed.
Yeah. And on the other hand, we can't like compromise our relationship with the stores that allow us to just post content on those platforms. So
Right.
it's all part of a big thing here. We can't ship blue peanut butter.
Totally.
Sorry, Rusty.
Yeah.
Rusty just grimaced when I made it. So.
I think the other thing too is we have the Kanye fallacy, and we have our other but fallacy, which is I did this on another release. And we have a human being review every single release that's going to our partners. Sometimes we make mistakes. It's a bummer. We totally understand. We try as hard as we can not to make them, but unfortunately we can't compromise on the rules because we made a mistake. We're happy to support you as best we can, but yeah.
Just because we made a mistake once doesn't mean that we can make it again on purpose.
Right. Exactly.
Because we're human. Rebecca, is there anything else that you wanted to share about info mismatch situations?
That is all I have about info mismatch.
Clear? Is that clear? Did anybody else have any questions about that in the chat?
I think
about info mismatch?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. If you do have questions, support@soundrop.com. I can look it up and let you know some specifics if you have a question about a specific release.
Cool. All right, that's everything you needed to know about info mismatches.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, yeah. That's how the video will end.
Oh boy.
I know.
Just hitting keys now. Are we?
Yeah, we need to know what's on Rusty's mind.
Yeah.
What's on Rusty's mind? What's on Rusty's mind? This is gonna be some out there shit.
Is it?
I don't know.
Oh man.
I thought last.
Let's get metaphysical. Metaphysical.
Are we gonna get metaphysical?
No.
Oh,
maybe
no,
later.
That's
Rocky
my job.
Butte.
We going to Rocky Butte after this time?
Let's party.
He's not even paying attention. He's like.
All right.
I've got like a real producer guy here, and he's like.
He's not giving you the time of day.
No, he's like actually doing technical stuff instead of worrying about where we're gonna go have a beer after this.
Yeah, right. Okay. What's on my mind?
What is on Rusty's mind?
All right, The Haunting at Hill House Netflix series rules. I'm so into it. I'm on episode. Sorry, I'm speaking way too loud. But I'm just very excited. So yeah, I'm on episode 8 or 9. They just opened the red room door, and I can't wait to see what happens.
Is that the like the 6 feet under like shit? Like they make up the dead bodies.
I mean, that happens once.
That happens once?
Maybe twice.
Oh,
but
I'm thinking of a show that's all about this woman and she.
I don't think so. No, this is about a family that's shut up quick. Nice. Yeah, it's about a family that's renovating a house that they believe to be haunted, and it's not scary, but it's chilling, and it's just there's this purveying sadness that just permeates through the whole show. It's fantastic. It's paced really well, and it's a character study. Highly recommended.
Hey man, if I wanted just permeating sadness, I would just go to work.
Wait a minute.
Just kidding. I'm having a good time at work right now.
Wait a minute.
I'm having a good time.
Also, video games. So Red Dead Redemption 2 came out.
Oh yeah, did you play that?
No, I don't have a PlayStation, so let's not talk about it. Hollow Knight rules. I got it in the monthly Humble Bundle, and
you said that the first time.
Yeah.
It would have taken me like 6 times to get that out.
Hollow Knight is great though. I know it's been out for years. I slept on it. I'm finally getting around to play it. Yeah, the soundtrack's amazing. I'm sure there are a bunch of covers already in Soundrop for those songs. Yeah, it's like the best parts of Castlevania and Metroid put together in a game with like it looks like hand drawn art. It's wild. It's so good, man.
All those hand drawn looking games just like make me want to get back to gaming so bad.
Yeah, well, and the plus to that as well.
Oh yeah, I have seen this one.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. I can't wait to just tell you more and more and more about it. Smiley Mouse, yeah, you and me both. I find that for each Humble monthly bundle that I get, it's maybe 2 or 3 games that I actually want, and then the rest I just give away to friends on Facebook or something like that. Like there maybe 20 or 30 real-time strategy games that I will just never, ever do. But there's always at least 2 or 3 that I always want.
Man, I'm just a sucker for mouthless characters. Is that a weird thing?
That is oddly specific, yeah.
I know it is oddly, but you give me like a well-drawn character that has no mouth, and I'm instantly intrigued. I just want everybody to shut the hell up, I guess.
So yeah, anyway, that's what's been on my mind.
That's some cool shit, man.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
You know what's been on my mind?
Do tell.
Some of the questions we've gotten from our artists.
Nice.
All right, what plans does Soundrop have for 2019 in terms of upgrading the service, site functionality, etc.? That's from our buddy Ro.
Great question.
That is a good question. Rusty?
Well, we are.
I'd like to know the answer to that question.
Yeah, we can talk about it. So
make it faster? Can we make it load faster?
Yeah, so we've been making big strides with improving just all around bugginess and efficiency of the site itself. So that's one of the big ones. We're also looking into ways that we'll be able to pay people differently as well.
Better payment options.
It's going to be really cool.
That's going to be nice.
Yeah, we're looking at a few new partners as well. Stay tuned. I won't give out any spoilers yet, but yeah, we got a few in the works. I think you guys will be really excited about it.
Yeah, all new, like maybe even a new type of service altogether.
You never know.
It's not that easy to get.
No, especially for the type of content that we deliver.
We'll just leave that out there as
nice,
being a little bit mysterious.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and in general, I think I'd like to offer more types of licensing, so people could get sync licensing, license samples from original recordings,
derivative works,
derivatives, rights to remix, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I'm imagining, and this might not be a 2019 thing, but I like the idea of just somebody being able to go into a database, select an original song, and then say, hey, how do you want to license this? Then just kind of go through there and get your licensing for more than just straight cover songs. Obviously, that's a big technical endeavor, but I think it'd be really worth it. The other thing I'd like to do is implement the revenue split setup into the process of setting up a release. Like right now, that works. It works really well on the back end, but we just have never gotten a good foolproof way of exposing it in the UI so users can just go in and set up their rev splits as they're setting up their release. They always have to email us separately. So that's one of my things for at least early 2019.
Yeah, that's on the roadmap, and in fact, I'm starting to actually start plugging away at it. How exactly it's going to look in the UI, it's very exciting. So stay tuned.
That's exciting stuff. Ro also wanted to know what character you'd put in Smash.
Do you have a pick?
I do, and it's kind of a weird one.
I'm shocked.
But
what do you got?
It's a character called Taffy from Clay Fighter.
Oh, hell yeah.
You remember Taffy from Clay Fighter?
I remember Clay Fighter, sure.
I loved Clay Fighter. I just like cartoonish, weird things, and I like fighting games. And Clay Fighter was a game that kind of... Is there like a modern version? I just played it on SNES.
No, I don't think there's a modern version. It was like it was that and Primal Rage.
Primal Rage.
Yeah, it's like similar sort of things, but
so yeah, I don't play Smash, but I'd like to see Taffy or any. Are there any Clay Fighter characters in there?
No, I mean it's not an IP from Nintendo, so they.
Oh, they can't.
Well, they could if they made some sort of agreement, like Simon Belmont from Castlevania is going to be in the new one, and that would have been my pick.
Yeah.
Well, second to Alucard. Alucard would be amazing in Smash Ultimate. It's the main character from Symphony of the Night for PlayStation 1. Game rules. Alucard rules. Castlevania Season 2 on Netflix also rules. Fantastic.
Really?
Yeah. Secondary pick for Smash Ultimate would be the Black Knight from Dark Souls. You would just mess everybody up. It'd be amazing. Cool. I have two other questions from the chat.
Okay.
Let's dive into those. So, Pony. Question. SoundCloud started...
I'm not good on the spot. Roasty.
I know. And this is from Wesley Pengu.
Yeah.
Hi, Wesley. SoundCloud started a new monetization feature, but it seems like it's only for paying members or for artists with an internet presence already. Are there any plans to partner with Soundrop to allow artists to release and monetize on SoundCloud without the silly premium fee needed to do so?
We had actually talked about delivering to SoundCloud for a while because I don't know that there are a lot of other distributors doing it. And one of the requirements for monetizing your SoundCloud is being distributed by like an approved distributor. As we were getting into it and I was starting to look at it, then SoundCloud came out with the like, hey, now you're going to be able to monetize directly. And I was like, oh, what's this? And then the next thing I know, there was some controversy about like, if you look in the terms, it was like not as beneficial to artists as they had made it sound. And ever since then, I've just been kind of like standing back, just watching that play out. And I think I would definitely be open to it. I don't have any reason not to be, but I want that whole thing to settle down and have them kind of figure out what it is they're really going for, settle on the terms, settle on a model, and then maybe we could get into some discussion with them on that. I don't know if I actually did that answer the question.
Yeah, I think that was good. Yeah, so we don't have any immediate plans to, but we love SoundCloud, and if the opportunity presents itself and it seems like a good deal for artists, then we'll go for it.
We'll always, if anything that artists want, we'll always consider it. Or anything that either artists want or we feel is beneficial to artists, or both, we'll push for.
Yeah. Second question.
Okay.
And this is from Torby Brand. If I license an album and one track gets rejected, can I hold back the tracks? And then in parentheses, but they are licensed so I can use them on a new release.
Can I hold back the tracks?
Yeah, like not actually distribute them.
Yeah, totally. So you just leave. So you have the one release. One of the tracks can't go, so you just bail on the whole release. You never end up setting it up, right? Because what'll happen is after we get the licensing fail back, then we have to go push the album back to you and say, hey, we can't distribute this in this form. So what do you want to do? Remove that track, distribute the rest, whatever. The tracks that we licensed for you are licensed. So anything that's got the green light is a green light and can be added to any new release. So you can release the others as singles. You can take, if you got 9 tracks that were licensed, you can throw 4 of them off as singles and put the rest in an EP. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Once it's licensed, it's licensed. Now, if you want, how would it work if they say, hey, I paid for all this licensing. One of the tracks was failed. I'm not going to release this right now. Can I just get a refund for all my licensing fees? How does that work mechanically in the platform? Because if they want a refund, then even though the track is technically licensed, it can't be distributed until it's been paid for, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they would have to pay again. Could they just check out again and put the tracks? They would be
basically
licensed,
what we would
but unpaid?
do. So we would never have a situation in the system like that. What would happen is we would refund and then we would reset the licensing status. So if you did want to, for example, if you released 10 covers and one is the title theme to Smash Brothers Ultimate and it hasn't come out yet, it comes out in December. So that track would fail. You could say, well, I want a refund and I'll just, I'll try again in December. So we would refund all 10 tracks. We would reset the licensing on all of them, so they wouldn't show as green for approved or red for failed. They'd show as gray for nothing. And then, you would just check out again when you're ready to do so.
Cool. But, of course, you do always have the option of just getting rid of the track that failed, submit the rest, goes right through, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And then maybe you could take that original track list that you wanted, and maybe once the rejected track is available, Once it's available to be licensed, you could maybe release all of the tracks in order as you had originally intended as like a bonus edition or a deluxe edition.
Deluxe editions.
Yes.
We love a deluxe edition. That's a title version, right?
Yeah. And Wesley Pango, I am so stoked for Smash Ultimate. Like, I'm buying a Switch for it. I can't wait.
You're going to buy a Switch for that game.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't have the Dark Souls game?
It has literally everybody else you can possibly think of. And
what is Taffy?
Sure.
Or any Clay Fighter characters.
How many songs are in that game? Does anybody know? It's in the hundreds. And then it's the hundreds of stages as well. Like it's insanity. It's so massive.
It's badass.
Yeah. Like 700 over 800 is probably over 9,000.
Oh,
it isn't.
And we can't license any of the covers, right?
Not until the game's out and a soundtrack has been released in the U.S.
Does it use the original themes from the games that the characters are from in there? All right, so those songs you can.
Yeah, so those, but then yeah, exactly, and then there will be other versions as well. So.
All right.
Cool.
We had one more question, which is, what's the deal with YouTube? It's from Steven. What's the deal with YouTube premieres, and is it possible to sync iTunes releases with it?
Great question.
So yeah, YouTube premieres is actually a pretty cool looking thing. I've never actually been a part of one, but basically it allows you to upload your video beforehand, and then YouTube gives you like the page that the video is going to appear on. But in the meantime, between the time that you start it and the actual video is scheduled to play, there's like a chat thing that you can engage with fans and get everybody excited and stuff like that. And then when the video's going, you're like talking to people, and then eventually, I think it even gives like your subscribers like a countdown, like, hey, in 30 minutes this premiere is going to happen and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's a really cool feature.
It is a cool thing. I don't know how many. I know people have been utilizing it, but I haven't actually like observed that yet.
Mm-hmm.
But the question is, can you sync the release of your song on iTunes, Spotify, Deezer, wherever, to the premiere on YouTube? And the answer is not really. Spotify is the only company that we know that actually allows you to specify time, and we don't have that built out yet. We're working on it, but we don't have that built out yet in Soundrop. So you can have it release the next day on all those services, like the day after your premiere or that day. But in terms of syncing it to a specific time, that's just not an option yet.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet.
No. And neither are the stores.
Exactly.
Yeah, except Spotify. I remember actually DistroKid does have that feature of specifying a time, and they're like, no, we just changed the game, and then you look in it and it's like, only Spotify supports this. It's like, okay, well,
you got one.
They got one. Yeah. And I mean, Spotify's not nothing.
No, I mean, it's
far from nothing.
The leader in market share.
Yep. They
Cool.
Sure are. All right. So, oh God, it's 5 minutes after. Do we have one more minute?
You bet we do.
A minute to talk about wrestling?
All right, I will start the clock. You ready?
Yeah.
And go.
All right, so WWE has been a little creepier than usual lately. The wrestling fans in the room are laughing at this, but they had this big event that was scheduled in Saudi Arabia, which they were promoting. Basically, the Prince of Saudi Arabia pays them billions of dollars or something, and then they just run a show there with the Prince's favorite wrestlers. And it was creepy anyway, because none of the women are allowed to wrestle there. But this one was extra creepy because of all that shit with that journalist that they dismembered, and then WWE's like, sorry, we're still in the contract, we're gonna run this show anyway, and everybody was bummed out on them about that. So that was gross. But the good news is WWE is still putting out tons of great content. NXT UK, 205 Live, Mae Young Classic. They also had a women's only pay-per-view called Evolution, which was one of the best pay-per-views of the year so far. So don't write them off completely, though they're creepy and they'll always be creepy.
Well, look at that. That was really good.
That was a hot take.
I love it.
Actually, that was a really cold take. Like,
yeah,
that's the same take everybody has.
Yeah,
it's like,
I'll take it.
WWE is super creepy, but I'm gonna still watch them because there's some good stuff.
Fair enough. Well, awesome. That hour flew by. Thanks, everybody, for being with us. Thank you for your questions. We always have a blast.
Yeah. We're going to be back on December 4th, Tuesday, December 4th, right, for Veronica's birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday in a month, Veronica. And, Rusty, do we want people to vote?
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, so the only way that
fucking vote, people.
The only way that democracy works is if you actually go and vote.
And it still might not work, but at least vote.
This is our best chance. Let's see what happens. I know that I'm going to be glued to polls tonight. I'm sure you
like the kid in
A Christmas Story. You read my mind. Yeah, I'm flying to Alaska. I'm flying the nearest pole. I'm just going to stick there.
All right, guys. Yeah. Follow us here on Twitch. Follow us at Soundrop on Twitter, at Soundrop Distro on Instagram. Like us on Facebook if you want, but Facebook is still just so annoying to me. I'm sorry. I feel really bad kind of signing off with the message of I'm annoyed with Facebook. Rusty, say something better so that's not the last thing that
Well, so some people still use Facebook, and that could be beneficial to them. So like us on Facebook as well. We'll see you next month.